This is why I believe Jesus is the Messiah, and this is because I recently saw a video where an Orthodox Jew explained why they don't believe Jesus was Messiah. They said Jesus didn't bring world peace, he didn't resurrect the dead, and he didn't fulfill all the criteria of the Messiah. And I want to respond and not attack, but explain why Christians like myself still believe why Jesus is the Messiah according to the same Hebrew scriptures. First, it's important to understand that Christians and Jews are actually looking at the same messianic prophecies, but through different lenses. The Jewish expectations focuses on a single coming of the Messiah, bringing peace, rebuilding the temple, and ruling the nations. But scriptures themselves show that the Messiah's work would come in two parts. First as a suffering servant, and later as a reigning king. Look at Isaiah 53. He was despised and rejected by men, a man of sorrows, acquainted with grief. He was pierced for our transgressions, crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and by his wounds we are healed. This is a picture of someone suffering and dying long before world peace. Jesus fulfilled this at his first coming. In Daniel 9, verse 26, it also prophesies that the Messiah would be cut off and have nothing before the destruction of Jerusalem and the Second Temple, which happened in 70 AD. Jesus' death aligns perfectly with this timeline. But there's more. In Micah chapter 5, verse 2, the Messiah is prophesied to be born in Bethlehem. Jesus was. In Zechariah chapter 9, verse 9, it says, "See, your king comes to you, righteous and victorious, lowly, and riding on a donkey." Jesus fulfilled this exactly when he entered Jerusalem. These weren't accidents or lucky guesses, they're hundreds of years prophecies pointing to him. Now, what about the argument that Jesus didn't bring world peace or resurrect the dead? That's true, yet Christian believes that these promises belong to his second coming. In Isaiah chapter 2, verse 4, it says the Messiah will bring peace, and in Ezekiel 37, it speaks of the future resurrection. Jesus himself promises this in John chapter 5, verses 28 through 29, where he says, "A time is coming when all who are in their graves will hear his voice and come out. Those who have done good will rise to live." We believe Jesus came first to deal with sin, to reconcile us to God, and will return to establish his eternal kingdom, bringing that peace in resurrection. Christianity wasn't born out of Jesus being rejected. It was a fulfillment of God's plan for both the Jew and the Gentile. The Apostle Paul, a Jew himself, said in Romans chapter 1, verse 16, "The gospel is a power of God that brings salvation to anyone and everyone who believes, first to the Jew, then to the Gentile." You don't have to agree with me, but I hope that you see that our faith in Jesus as a Messiah is deeply rooted in Scripture, not just tradition. The Messiah has come once to save, and he's coming again to reign.